Okay, this is a review of the 2019 Cube Stereo 140 SL 500, which retails at 99 bikes at the moment for 5,299 Australian dollars. The full price is 6,799. It comes with the Schwalbe Nobby Nick Kevlar 2.6 tires. It's got the Fox 34 float shocks with 140 mils travel. The hub is a Shimano XT. The rim is Cube's brand. I don't know why it says Alex rims on it, but it's the Cube's rim, which is an EX30. The brakes are Shimano XTs, and these ones were in a bad need of a bleed, and they were also round the wrong way, with the Euro right and left being back and front being on the opposite sides of what they are in Australia, which caused me some hassle. The rear shock is a Fox Float DPS, and as you can see, the bike shop set it up with a very strange cable for the dropper post. They didn't shorten it, so it sort of stuck out there and got in the way of things. The derailleur is a Shimano XT, and it was pretty competent. The cassette was a Shimano SLX. The dropper post and the saddle were Cube's in-home brand, and the dropper post was malfunctioning on this bike. I don't know if it had an adjustment. Drive computer is the same on a lot of Bosch bikes. It's got different modes: turbo, EMTB, tour, and eco. And there was a walk function which I could not work out. Aesthetically, the bike was good looking. I didn't like the color really, because I think matte black has been done a little bit too often. Matte black and blue, similar to a previous bike that I tested earlier. The suspension design was a little strange, I found. There's a big lip there, and underneath it was sort of hollow, and that just looked a little funny, but the rest of the bike was nice looking sort of bike. One of the main concerns was the height of the bottom bracket. You can see me putting my hand there. And then for scale, I put my size 10, US size 10 shoe underneath, so you can sort of see the scale of how low the bottom bracket was. Installation of the battery is quite simple. You've got a key which you insert there. You take the cover off, and then you pull the battery out. It's a 500 watt hour battery, Bosch battery, made in Poland. And to install, you simply put the bottom of the battery in first, click the top home, turn the key to lock it in, grab the cover plate, fit it in bottom first with some tabs, and then turn the wheel at the top to tighten it. The other one concern was the battery recharge access port cover, which seemed to be fairly easy to loosen, which might be a concern for dirt and water getting in. Okay, so now for my thoughts. Positives. Number one is the Bosch motor. It's fast becoming one of my favorite motors in an e-bike, especially the EMT mode. It's quite different from the other e-bikes, wherein rather than a constant flow of torque, it seems to back off a bit, and then when it senses when you're doing a climb or a pinch climb or something, and then it really starts to boost, and it cranks up the newton meters, and then it sort of backs off again, whereas other e-bikes are more like a constant push. The German design. This is a bike that's designed in Germany, so you can say to other people, well, this is a German bike, so that's positive. The overall aesthetic of the bike I thought was nice. The price point is good at the moment. This particular bike is on sale, and you get some fairly decent sort of componentry for the price, and the fact that it's being heavily discounted at 99 bikes. Okay, now for the negatives. The negatives are, I didn't like the look of the stem. It looks sort of cheap. Another negative is the bottom bracket height. It was quite low, and I did scrub cranks, and I did hit the bottom bracket on a couple of pinch climbs when I was powering through some pinch climbs, and the bike did sort of bounce a bit, and then I scrubbed the bottom bracket. Overall, I thought it needed a little bit more travel in the suspension. I would probably get one. There's another version, the 160 SL, which has 160 mils travel, which I think I'd be more suited to that for my style and type of riding. This bike had probably not enough travel for me. Also, the height of that bottom bracket was a bit of a concern. I was really worried I was going to hit the motor and damage it that way. But I did enjoy the fact that it was a Bosch motor with the EMTB mode. I did like. Probably overall, my opinion was swayed by the fact that this bike wasn't set up properly. So the derailleur did skip gears a little bit, but that's because it needed some adjustment. The brakes are around the wrong way and needed a bleed. The seat post wasn't adjusted properly, so it didn't work, and the seat post cable was coming out near the shock, and all that led for like a sort of a bad riding experience. But I'm not going to let that sway me. I think if all those things were tuned in and done right, I think this would be a fairly good bike and maybe a good choice at that price point.